Okay, good evening, students. So we'll start today's class, right? Right. So what was the last topic, Anishka? Tell me. What was the last topic? So I think we have concluded on your numericals and concepts on your conductivity, right?
Yes,
Okay, fine. So today we are going to just continue with the previous topic, okay? And today's topic is going to be your uh, your effect of dilution on your molar conductance. Lambda m. Okay, so it's a very important topic. Now see, before I start with this topic, again, just let us just recapitulate the difference between a strong electrolyte, okay, and a weak electrolyte. Okay, so let us just recapitulate the differences between a strong and a weak electrolyte. Okay, so what is a strong electrolyte? We all know. Okay, we all know the definition of strong electrolyte. So what is a strong electrolyte? Strong electrolyte are those, okay, which dissociates completely, in aqueous solution. Okay, which dissociates completely in aqueous solution. So what does this mean then? Say suppose I have a strong electrolyte. Suppose AB, it behaves as a strong electrolyte. Okay, so if it behaves as a strong electrolyte, then as it dissolves in aqueous solution, this will completely dissociate into ions. These are going to dissociate completely into the respective ions. Okay, so strong electrolytes are those which dissociates completely in the aqueous solution. Okay, so if I have 100 moles of electrolyte AB, if I have 100 moles of electrolyte AB, then out of this 100, all the 100 of these electrolyte AB will get dissociated into the respective ions. That means 100 moles of AB dissociates to give us 100 moles of A positive and 100 moles of B negative ions. So there will be no undissociated molecules left in case of strong electrolyte. Means the dissociation is 100% complete. Okay. So what will be the value of alpha then for strong electrolyte? Alpha is known as a degree of dissociation. Okay. It's known as a degree of dissociation. So what is the value of this electrolyte AB then? What should be the value of alpha? Yes. Any one of you? The dissociation is 100%. The dissociation is 100%. So what do you think is
1.
going to be the value of alpha? Yes, yes, exactly. Very good. Alpha is 100%, or the value of alpha is equal to 1. The value of alpha is equal to 1. So just remember the simple fact that in case of strong electrolytes, okay, strong electrolytes are supposed to ionize completely into the respective ions. And after ionization, remember, no undissociated molecules will be left over. That means the degree of dissociation is 100%, or alpha का value तुम्हारा 1 होगा. Okay. And what are the examples of strong electrolyte? All the mineral acids, all the strong acids, bases, okay, salts. These are examples of strong electrolytes. Okay, so there are numerous examples, of course, okay, which we have done in class 11. Okay, so this is the concept of strong electrolyte. Now let us come to this weak electrolyte then. So what is a weak electrolyte? Which dissociates incompletely. Which dissociates partially or incompletely. which dissociates incompletely. Okay, so these are known as a weak electrolyte. Now, if I take an example of a weak electrolyte, say XY, okay, so what will happen? Say, if I take 100 moles of this electrolyte XY, do you think all the 100 will be dissociated into ions? Do you think all 100 will get dissociated into ions? No. Okay. So there will be dissociation, of course, but the dissociation will be incomplete. Say out of 100 moles, only 40 moles will be converted into ions. So let us take an example. Okay. So out of 100 moles, only 40 moles are getting converted into ions. So what will happen to the rest of the molecule then? What will happen to the rest of the molecule? Out of 100, only 40 has been converted into ions. So rest of the molecule will remain undissociated. Rest will remain as undissociated molecules. And here the degree of ionization is always less than 1. Since the dissociation is not 100%, the value of alpha is less than 1. And please remember the fact that the maximum value of alpha is equal to 1. It cannot exceed 1. And what are the examples of weak electrolyte? Examples of weak electrolyte are, say, ammonium hydroxide. It's a very, very, very weak base. It's a very weak base. Okay, ammonium hydroxide. It's a weak electrolyte. So other examples are, say, organic acids, say acetic acid, etc., etc. So these are examples of your weak electrolyte. Okay, I won't go into that details. Okay, I won't go into that details. So this much is more than enough. Right? So these are the examples and concept of your strong electrolyte and weak electrolyte. Okay. Now, with this concept, let us move further. Let us move further. So yes, what is the topic going on? The topic going on is your effect of dilution on your molar conductance. Okay. So earlier we came to know that the specific conductance decreases with dilution. Okay. So here we shall see the effect of dilution on molar conductance. So this is a very important topic. Okay. So remember, the upon dilution, the molar conductances, upon dilution, the molar conductance of both weak and strong electrolyte is, please write down this. So the molar conductance of both weak and strong electrolyte increases upon dilution. It is just the opposite of specific conductance. Okay. So the conductivity or specific conductance decreases with dilution. So reasons I've explained you. Here the molar conductance of both weak and strong electrolyte increases upon dilution. Both strong and weak. Okay. So let us just try to understand this graphically. Let us try to understand this graphically. Now, the effect of dilution on molar conductance is provided by an equation which is known as a Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation. Okay, and the equation is lambda m equals to lambda m naught minus a root over of. So this famous equation is known as a Debye-Onsager equation. It is known as a Debye-Onsager equation. So now we are considering how the lambda m value changes with the change in concentration. We are discussing how the lambda m value changes with the change in concentration. Means what are the variables out here? The variables are as we the lambda. So again, this equation is of the form of y equals to mx plus c. This is of the form of y equals to mx plus c. Okay. So let us see the nature of graph. If I plot, so now what am I going to plot in the y-axis? What am I going to plot in the y-axis? Yes, please, someone. What am I going to plot in the y-axis? So this equation is of the form of y equals to mx plus c. So what am I going to plot in the y-axis then?
Lambda m.
बता दो. And in the x-axis, y equals to mx plus c. Okay, I have written this mx out here. So what am I going to plot in the x-axis? Here the two
Lambda naught.
variables are lambda m and root. No, not lambda naught. Hey, so this is of the. So we are discussing the effect of concentration on lambda m. As the concentration changes, lambda m will also change. That means these are the two variables out here, not lambda m naught. Hey. Okay, these are the two variables out here. As I change the concentration, lambda m will change. So this is of the form of y equals to mx plus c. So y barabar lambda m. So what is x? What will I plot in the x-axis? I'll plot square root of concentration. I'll plot square root of concentration like this. I'll be plotting square root of concentration. Is it clear? Okay, y equals to mx plus c. So x barabar yahan par square root of c. So now what is going to be the nature of graph? Now see, for strong electrolytes, we get a straight. For strong electrolytes, what do we get? We get a straight line like this. So we get a straight line for a strong electrolyte with a negative slope, again with a negative slope. So this is for a strong electrolyte. Okay. However, for weak electrolytes, we don't get a straight line, rather we get a curve like this. Right? Rather we get a curve. We get a curve like this. So this graph is for a weak electrolyte. So questions are going to come from this topic. Eh? Questions are going to be based upon this topic. So from the graph itself, we can come to know what type of electrolyte we are discussing about. If we get a straight line, yes, then we are talking about a strong electrolyte. And if we get a curve like this, then we are talking about weak electrolyte. However, you see that the concentration is increasing in this direction. So obviously it will decrease in this direction. So as the concentration decreases, as the concentration is decreasing, what is happening to lambda m? Yes, Vidushi, tell me, as the concentration decreases, what will happen to lambda m? As the concentration decreases, what is going to happen to lambda? Chalo, bata do. It's so obvious. So as the concentration decreases, lambda m क्या हो रहा है? Increase हो रहा है. देखो, strong electrolyte का भी increase हो रहा है, weak electrolyte का भी increase हो रहा है. Okay, just the nature of graph is different. Just the nature of graph is different out here. But we see that the molar conductance of both strong and weak electrolytes are increasing as the concentration decreases. Okay, so this fact we are explaining it graphically. Okay, the molar conductance of both strong and weak electrolyte increases. It is increasing upon dilution. We are diluting means what are we doing to the concentration? Increasing or decreasing? What happens to the concentration as we go on diluting the solution? As we go on diluting the solution, what will happen to the concentration? The concentration goes on decreasing. As the concentration goes on decreasing, the molar conductance value is increasing. Okay, got it? So is this clear? Okay, now see. Now, the nature of increase is however different for strong and weak electrolytes. Okay, it's different for strong and weak electrolytes. For strong electrolytes, yes, we get a straight line. For weak electrolytes, we get a curve like this. Okay. Now let us discuss separately. Okay, so first, weak electrolyte. First, we'll take this weak electrolyte. Okay, so let us see why the molar conductance values of weak electrolyte increases upon dilution. Okay, now the topic which you have just studied, okay, weak electrolytes are incompletely dissociated. Eh? Weak electrolytes are incompletely dissociated. Okay, now see, Now you need to understand this. You need to understand this. Suppose AB is a weak electrolyte. It dissociates partially to A positive and B negative ions. Okay. So what will I assume out here? Suppose C is the initial concentration and alpha is the degree of dissociation. So let us suppose that C is the initial concentration and alpha is the degree of dissociation. Okay. So initially means before dissociation, what was the concentration? C. So before dissociation, the concentration of ions was 0. Now at equilibrium, at equilibrium. Okay. So Pratik, can you explain me this? What do you mean by degree of dissociation? I have explained you so many times. Okay, what is the definition of degree of dissociation?
Sir, 1 mole से कित
Exactly, very good, excellent, excellent. So degree of dissociation का मतलब है number of moles dissociated per mole. Degree of dissociation का मतलब है number of moles dissociated per mole. Now degree of dissociation alpha means out of 1 mole. Degree of dissociation alpha means out of 1 mole alpha moles have been dissociated. Okay, degree of dissociation alpha का मतलब है 1 mole में से alpha mole dissociate हुआ है. But here we have taken how many moles? We have taken how many moles? C moles. So out of 1 mole, if alpha moles dissociate, then out of C moles, how many moles will dissociate? Alpha C moles will dissociate. So this is the concept. So initially it was C. Out of C, how many moles have dissociated? Alpha C has dissociated. Huh? So it was C. Out of C में से alpha C तुम्हारा ions में dissociate हो चुका है. So what is the remaining amount? C minus alpha C. The remaining concentration will be C minus alpha C. Out of C, alpha C has been dissociated. Now look here. 1 mole dissociates to give you 1 mole. So alpha C dissociates to give us alpha C. 1 mole dissociates to give you 1 mole. Alpha C dissociates to give us alpha C. So these are the concentrations at equilibrium. These are the concentrations at equilibrium. Okay, so these are the concentration at equilibrium. Okay. So how do we write down the expression for equilibrium constant then? Equilibrium constant K is equal to concentration of A, concentration of B divided by concentration of AB. So what is the value of concentration of A? Into alpha. Okay, I'm taking C common out here. The concentration of AB at equilibrium is C1 minus alpha. So CC will get cancelled. So K is equal to alpha square C1 minus alpha. So again, we will be using this particular expression in the latter half. Then I'm not going to discuss this. I have already discussed it out here. So this is how we derive this. Okay. So this is the expression we'll be again using. So this K is also known as a dissociation constant. Okay, is also known as a dissociation constant. Now, out here, I'll just approximate one thing. So since the electrolyte is weak, the value of alpha is very, very, very less as compared to 1. We have taken a weak electrolyte. We are discussing weak electrolyte. Since we are taking a weak electrolyte, the degree of dissociation will be very less as compared to 1 because 1 is the maximum value of alpha. Okay, so the value of alpha here is less than 1. Why? Because it's a weak electrolyte. So what can we do now? Alpha can be neglected in comparison to 1. Alpha is neglected in comparison to 1. So if I neglect this alpha, ultimately what will I get? Alpha square C is equal to K. I'll be getting this. Finally, I'll be getting alpha is equal to root over K by C. Alpha is equal to root over K by C. Okay, fine. Now concentrate on this particular expression. Alpha is equal to root over K by C. So this famous equation, this famous expression, which is applicable for weak electrolyte, okay, is applicable for weak electrolyte, okay. So from this expression, what do we get ultimately? Alpha equals to root over K by C. So we got this expression by making this approximation. Okay, we approximated, we made some approximations out of it. Okay. But remember, this expression is applicable only for what electrolytes? Is it applicable to strong electrolytes? No, it is applicable only for weak electrolytes. Now here you see, upon dilution, what will happen to the concentration? What will happen to the concentration? Yes, please. We are diluting means what will happen to the concentration? Decreases. And as the concentration decreases, what will happen to alpha according to this expression? What is going to happen to alpha?
Increases.
Increases. Alpha is going to increase. Alpha is increasing. Okay. So once again, I'm insisting that, okay, this is applicable only for weak electrolytes. So upon dilution, the concentration decreases, and according to this expression, as the concentration decreases, the value of alpha is going to increase. And this famous equation is also known as your Ostwald dilution law. It is known as the Ostwald dilution law, and it is applicable to weak electrolyte. Okay, now see, now the things get simplified now. So finally, we have an equation which gives us a relationship between concentration and degree of dissociation. So as the concentration decreases, the degree of dissociation increases. Okay, so what will happen? Upon dilution, the concentration decreases, the degree of dissociation increases. So what is going to happen to the number of ions then? What is going to happen to the number of ions? Yes, please tell me someone, what is going to happen?
Increases.
The number of ions will increase because degree of dissociation increase होने का मतलब ये more electrolyte will be dissociated into ions. More and more number of electrolytes, they are getting converted into ions. So number of ions increases. So if the number, what will happen to the molar conductance then? If the number of ions increases, what will happen to the molar conductance? It will increase or decrease. That's conductance depends upon the number of ions. Here the number of ions is increasing. So what will happen to the molar conductance? Thus, or therefore, the molar conductance increases upon dilution. It increases upon dilution. So these type of questions are very common in your board level. Okay, so questions might come explain why the molar conductance of weak electrolyte increases upon dilution. So no need to derive all these things. No need to derive all these things. How are you going to write down your answer? Just we need to remember this simple equation. क्या लिखोगे तुम लोग? From Ostwald dilution law, alpha equals to root over K by C. From Ostwald dilution law, alpha equals to root over K by C. So now what will be the next sentence? Upon dilution, the concentration decreases. The degree of dissociation will increase. And as the degree of dissociation increases, the number of ions will increase. The number of ions will increase. Thus, the molar conductance values also increases upon dilution. Got it? So yes, why the molar conductance of weak electrolyte increases upon dilution? The answer is due to the increase in degree of dissociation, due to the increase in the number of ions, the molar conductance values increases upon dilution. For what type of electrolytes? For weak electrolytes. Okay. So any questions? Yes, you can ask me, since this is very important as far as. Okay, fine. So I think it's understood. Okay. Now let us discuss why the molar conductance of strong electrolyte increases. Now let us see the reason for your strong electrolytes. Let us see the reason for your strong electrolytes. Okay. Now see, you need to answer my questions. Hey. Okay, now see. It's only applicable for weak electrolytes. For strong electrolytes, if I dilute the solution, do you think there is going to be an increase in degree of dissociation? Do you think? For strong electrolytes को मैं dilute करूँगा तो degree of dissociation increase होगा?
No, sir.
No,
क्यों नहीं? Why not?
it is always one because it completely dissociates.
Yes. Okay. Since it has already been dissociated, ये तो completely dissociate हो चुका है strong electrolyte तो. जितना ions बनना था maximum number of ions बन चुका है. So even if you go on diluting it, there is not going to be an increase in the number of ions. So number of ions increase ही नहीं होगा तो how come the molar conductance values are increasing then? Okay, weak electrolyte का तो we explain beautifully like this. Like in strong electrolytes, it's already completely dissociated. It already contains maximum number of ions. The number of ions will not increase. So now let us see the reason why. Okay. So say I take a strong electrolyte and this is the electrolyte containing some positive and negative ions. It contains some number of positive and negative ions like this. Okay, so this was the picture before dilution. This was before dilution. Okay. Now after dilution, what will happen to the number of ions? Yes, please tell me again. What will happen to the number of ions? क्या होगा अनिष्का number of ions को? Number of ions remains the same. However, there is an increase in volume. तुम पानी डाल रहे हो, तुम dilute कर रहे हो, तो obviously volume is going to increase. Now the same number of ions is not going to change out here, but the same number of ions will now occupy greater volume. The same number of ions will now occupy greater volume. Okay, so let us just write down. Upon dilution, okay, this for a strong electrolyte. Upon dilution, what will happen? The number of ions remains the same. Okay, number of ions will remain the same. However, the same number of ions will occupy greater volume. However, so the same number of ions will occupy greater volume. Number of ions occupy greater volume. That means they will be scattered. Now you tell me. After they occupy greater volume, what will happen to the interionic distance? What will happen to the distance between the ions? Earlier they were crowded together. Now they are, yes, the interionic distance will increase. What will happen to the interionic attraction then? The ions are far away from each other now. What will happen to the interionic attraction?
Decrease.
They are far away. If they are close, they will attract more strongly. No. दो ions अगर if they are close to each other attraction ज्यादा होगा. Now they are separated means what will happen to the interionic attraction then? Earlier in this case oppositely charged ions were close. Attract our volume, so they will be quite far away from each other. So what will happen to the attraction then? चलो ना बता दो. What will happen to the interionic attraction? Obviously, the interionic attraction decreases. The interionic attraction will decrease because they are now far away from each other. So the attraction decreases. So as the interionic attraction decreases, this thing I discussed before as well, what will happen to the ionic mobility? The interionic attraction decreases, and hence the ionic mobility, increases. Yes, can I write this? If the ions are attracted strongly, they cannot move quickly because each ion is attracted by oppositely charged ions. However, if the interionic attraction is weak, the ions will be able to move faster now. This is what is happening out here. So, as the ionic mobility increases, what will happen to the molar? What will happen to the molar conductance? Hence, the molar conductance values increases. Okay, so hence the molar conductance values will increase. The molar conductance values will increase. So this is the reason. So there are separate reasons. There are two separate reasons for the increase in molar conductance values of weak and strong electrolytes.
Sir,
Yes, yes.
so won't there be more collision if we increase the dilution? That is, if we dilute it more, there will be more intermolecular, interparticle collision, no? Then this
Why is it so? Why is it so? Yes, you are saying if we dilute, मतलब collision ज़्यादा होना चाहिए. Collision तो ज़्यादा होगा when the space, okay, when the space available is less, तब जाके collision ज़्यादा होगा, right?
okay.
A simple example, दो आदमी को मैं छोटा सा कमरा में छोड़ के, if I tell them to run blindfold, they will collide more. But if I give them a big room, what is the probability of collision? तो उल्टा होगा, decrease होगा, नहीं? Okay.
Yes, sir.
You got my point?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So this is the concept. Okay. Just so याद कर लेना. Weak electrolyte का तो number of ions बढ़ रहा था, लेकिन strong electrolytes का number of ions will remain the same, but with dilution, the same number of ions will now occupy greater volume. As they occupy greater volume, the inter-ionic distance, the distance between the ions increases. As the distance between the ions increases, what will happen? The interionic attraction will also decrease. And as the interionic attraction decreases, what will happen to the speed of ions? What will happen to the ionic mobility? The ionic mobility will increase. The ionic mobility will increase. Okay, so that is why the molar conductance of strong electrolyte also increases upon dilution. So just give priority to these two topics. Give priority to these two topics. So there's every chance that this might come in your board level. Okay. So shall I move to the next topic now? Is this understood? Okay. So let me just move to the next topic. Okay. So I'll just redraw this diagram. अच्छा थोड़ा सा इंटरैक्ट करो so that I'll be able to understand. Okay. तुम लोग को समझ आया या नहीं? Fine. Okay. So thus we came to the conclusion that both strong and weak electrolyte increases with dilution. So let me again once draw the graph. Lambda m value versus square root of concentration. Okay, for strong electrolytes we get a straight line like this. Okay, so now please answer some questions. Okay, at this particular point, look at this point in the graph. At this particular point, what is the concentration? At this particular point, what is the concentration?
0.
0. Concentration 0 matlab, when will the concentration be 0? Eh? As we go on diluting, the concentration goes on decreasing. Right? जितना dilute करेंगे हम लोग, concentration will go on decreasing. So at what dilution the concentration becomes equal to 0?
Infinite.
Yes. So we don't have any idea. Concentration 0 करने के लिए कितना dilute करना पड़ेगा? How many water do you need to add? Do you need to add 1 liter of water, 2, 5, 10, 100, 1000, lakh? Okay. So the concept is the concentration tends to 0. The concentration tends to 0 when the solution is infinitely dilute. When the solution is infinitely dilute. Okay, the concentration tends to become 0. Okay, we say that the concentration is 0 when the solution is infinitely dilute. Okay. So now see, if I ask you this question, what will be the molar conductance value at this concentration? How will you do? I marked a point out here. How will you find out the molar conductance value at this concentration? At this concentration, how will you find out the lambda n values?
सर लाइन खींच के ग्राफ से लगा देंगे फिर मोलर
बस इट्स सो सिंपल. लाइन खींच लो, कैसे लाइन खींच लो? परपेंडिकुलर लाइन खींच लो, मिल गया. ये कॉन्सेंट्रेशन में कंडक्टेंस, मोलर कंडक्टेंस वैल्यू ये. So yes, Pratyek, how will you find out the molar conductance value at this concentration then? How will you find out the molar conductance value at this concentration?
So it's infinite, no?
It's infinitely dilute. Okay, so yes, we don't have the graph up till here. So what we now do is, okay, we say that we extrapolate the graph like this. We extrapolate. This is known as an extrapolation of the graph. This is known as an extrapolation. Okay, we follow the path of the graph. So do you think the graph will suddenly go upwards from this point onwards? No. Do you think it will gradually go downwards from this point onwards? No. It will follow the same trajectory. It will follow the same path. This is known as an extrapolation. Okay. So now I think at this concentration, at this 0 concentration, the molar conductance value is given by this particular point. Is it so? The molar conductance at 0 concentration when the solution is infinitely dilute is given by this. And this conductance value is denoted by lambda m infinity m dot. And this lambda m infinity or lambda m naught is known as here molar conductance. It is known as a molar conductance at infinite dilution. It's known as a molar conductance at infinite dilution. Okay. So for strong electrolytes, yes, the value of lambda m infinity can be easily found out by extrapolation of the curve. Okay. Now let us see the same for your weak electrolytes now. Let us see the same for your weak electrolyte. Okay. Okay, for weak electrolyte, what is the nature of graph? Is it a straight line? No, it is a curve like this. It is a curve, where there is a curve. We have a curve like this. Okay, for weak electrolyte. So do you think extrapolation of the curve is now possible? Do you think we can extrapolate this curve now? Do you think we can extrapolate this curve?
No.
No, because it's a curve. Okay, we don't know the trajectory of the curve. So now the problem arises, the molar conductance of weak electrolytes at infinite dilution is found out graphically, or it cannot be determined graphically. Okay, it cannot be determined graphically because it is a curve. We can extrapolate the curve. Fine. So now the difference is lambda m infinity of strong electrolytes can be easily found out by extrapolation of the curve. But the lambda m infinity of weak electrolyte cannot be found out by extrapolation of the curve. Okay, so how do we find them? Okay, then how do we find? We use an indirect method. And now say this is going to be very easy as well as very interesting. Eh? Okay, so here we take the help of a law which is known as a Kohlrausch law. Kohlrausch, offer stuff yes, Kohlrausch law. It's known as a Kohlrausch law of independent migration of ions. Okay, it's known as a Kohlrausch law. Okay, first I'll write down the law and I'll make you understand. It's very simple law. According to this law, at infinite dilution, each ion makes a definite contribution to the molar conductance, okay, which is independent of the nature of other ions. So please jot it down, please write it down. So only the name pronunciation is difficult. Law, it's Kohlrausch law. It's really easy. So what does it state? That at infinite dilution, each ion has a definite contribution towards the molar conductance value, and this contribution is independent of the nature of other ions present. It is independent of the nature of other ions present. Okay, so what does this mean? What are we talking about now? What are we talking about? Now see, so if we have a strong electrolyte, then according to this law, okay, so this is the molar conductance at infinite dilution of an electrolyte, say AB. Got it? So what am I writing out here? I'm writing the molar conductance at infinite dilution of an electrolyte AB. So according to this law, the molar conductance of electrolyte AB, okay, is equal to the sum of conductances at infinite dilution of A positive ion plus lambda infinity of B negative ions. And these small lambda are known as your ionic conductances. It is known as your ionic conductances. So the molar conductance, okay, alternatively, what is Kohlrausch law? The molar conductance is the sum of your ionic conductances. The contribution of these positive and negative ions will be fixed and it does not depend upon the nature of other ions present. Okay. So in order to understand, I'll give you some examples. So what can I write for this? Lambda m infinity of NaCl. What can I write? The molar conductance at infinite dilution of NaCl will be equal to what? It will be equal to the ionic conductance of sodium ion plus the ionic conductance of your fluoride ion. It will be equal to the sum of ionic conductance of sodium ion and ionic conductances of fluoride ion. Okay. Now say suppose the value of ionic conductance of sodium ion is, say, I'm just giving you an arbitrary value. This is not the exact value. Eh? Okay. I'm giving you an arbitrary value. Say suppose it is equal to 210 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. So as for example, take the value of ionic conductance of sodium ion to be this. Okay. So what is the contribution of sodium ion towards the molar conductance then? What is the contribution of sodium ion towards molar conductance? कितना है contribution? Sodium ion का contribution कितना है? Yes, tell me, students. What is the contribution of sodium ion? The contribution of sodium ion is 210. Now let me take another example. Lambda m infinity of sodium bromide. Sodium bromide. So this will be equal to what? This will be equal to lambda m infinity of sodium ion plus lambda m infinity of bromide ion. Okay. Now, Pratik, you tell me what will be the value of this lambda m infinity of sodium ion out here? What is the value of lambda m infinity of sodium ion out here? कितना होगा इसका value? It will still be 210. Okay, so the thing which I have mentioned out here, each ion makes a definite contribution, and whether it is associated with chloride ion, whether it is associated with bromide ion, whether it is associated with sulfate ion, it does not depend upon the nature of other ions present. It does not depend upon the nature of other ions present. Okay. Each ion will make a definite contribution. That means the value of ionic conductances of each ion will be fixed. And these values are independent. These values does not depend upon the nature of other ions present. Got it now? Got it?
Yes,
Anushka?
sir.
Yes.
पक्का? ओके. तुम लोग सो रहे हो क्या? हाँ या ना बोलो हाँ. Okay, now see. चलो. What will be lambda m infinity of sodium sulfate then? लिख लो. क्या होगा? This will be equal to what?
सर आपका वीडियो ऑफ है.
अभी ठीक है? चलो.
हाँ,
Now
sir.
tell me, sodium sulfate on dissociation will give you how many sodium ion? Sodium sulfate dissociate होके कितना sodium ion देगा?
2.
2. Okay. So here lambda infinity of sodium sulfate will be twice lambda infinity of sodium ion plus how many sulfate ion do we get? Plus how many sulfate ion do we get?
1.
1 lambda infinity of sulfate ion. So we can write in this way. Similarly, lambda m infinity of barium chloride. Yes, now do it by yourself, do it on your own. What can I write for this? What can I write for this? Barium chloride dissociate होके एक barium देगा, दो chloride देगा. So this will be equal to lambda infinity of barium plus twice lambda infinity of chloride ion. ठीक है ना? It's easy. Okay, so ये खुद बोलो. So चलो guys, tell me now. Of aluminium sulfate, Al2 SO4 whole 3. इसका बताओ मुझे. एल्यूमिनियम सल्फेट का बताओ.
सर वो 2 times lambda infinity m
Yes,
aluminium का होगा
2
और
times infinity
times
of aluminium tripositive ion plus thrice lambda infinity of which ion? Sulfate ion. Okay, it will dissociate to give you 3. So remember, 3 is the valency of aluminium, 2 is the valency of sulfate. Now last one, last one. ये बोलना चाहिए तुम लोगों को. You should be able to answer this. चलो इसका बता दो. What is the valency of A? What is the valency of A out here?
Y,
Y. What is the valency of B?
X,
X. How many A positive ions will be formed? How many A positive ions will be formed? Your Al2, your AX. So these and dissociate will give you X number of A positive ions. Okay, so it will be X lambda infinity of A. What is the charge on A? Y positive. Since the valency of A is Y positive. How many B negative ions then? Y. Lambda infinity of B. What is the valency of B? X. So it will give you B X negative ions like this. So all these questions have come in the boards level, right? Okay, so you will be given the value of ionic conductances. You will be given the value of ionic conductances. From here, you have to find out the molar conductance values. It's very easy. So here you just need to know the formula of the compound, and on dissociation, how many ions will be formed. Whatever ions will be formed, you just need to multiply the ionic conductance by that number. Okay? Fine. So now we have studied Kohlrausch's law. We have studied Kohlrausch's law. Okay, so according to Kohlrausch's law, the molar conductance at infinite dilution is equal to the sum of the ionic conductances. And we also know the fact that, okay, the ionic value of each ion is constant. And these values are independent of the nature of other ions. Okay. So now, let us now move towards the applications of Kohlrausch's law quickly. So write it very, very, very important. Application of Kohlrausch's law. Applications of Kohlrausch's law. Okay. So number one, application of Kohlrausch's law is to determine the lambda infinity values of weak electrolytes. Okay. Now you need to pay attention. It's quite important as far as your boards are concerned. So number one application of Kohlrausch's law is to determine the lambda m infinity values of weak electrons. So just pay attention for 5 minutes. Everything will be crystal clear. Okay. Now see, I'll just start with an example. Okay, I'll just start with an example. So find the lambda m infinity of ammonium hydroxide. Okay, given lambda m infinity of ammonium chloride is equal to say 100.5. Unit is going to be that Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. Second given, lambda infinity of NaOH is say 200.5. Lambda infinity of NaCl, say it is equal to 100. I am just giving you arbitrary values. The actual values, experimental values different. Just to make you understand, I am giving you one arbitrary value. Okay, so the important thing is that you need to understand. Now from this data, you need to find out this. You need to find out the molar conductance of ammonium hydroxide, which is a weak electrolyte. Okay, so please pay attention now. Okay, so according to Colruyt's law, what will be lambda m infinity of ammonium hydroxide? What will be lambda m infinity of ammonium hydroxide according to Colruyt's law? Yes, please tell me.
The lambda infinity of NH4
Lambda infinity of which ion?
ammonium ion.
Ammonium ion plus
Lambda
infinity of
hydroxide.
Okay, so if we can somehow get the ionic conductances of ion, of your ammonium ion and hydroxide ion, if we can determine the ionic conductances of ammonium and then we can get the molar conductance values of ammonium hydroxide at infinite dilution. Correct? Now, where does this ammonium ion come from? From which electrolyte will we get the value of lambda infinity of ammonium ion? कहाँ से मिलेगा?
NH4Cl.
Yes. So this is equal to lambda m infinity of ammonium chloride. From here we'll get the lambda m infinity of ammonium ion. From where will we get the lambda m infinity of hydroxide ion? कहाँ से मिलेगा ये contribution?
NaOH.
NaOH. So I can add this as lambda m infinity of NaOH. So I'm leaving some space out here. I'm leaving some space out here. Okay. Now again, let me apply Colruyt's law out here. So this I can write down as lambda infinity of ammonium ion. Yes, I need this. I got this. Plus I get lambda infinity of chloride ion. Plus I get lambda infinity of sodium ion. Plus I get lambda infinity of hydroxide ion. So which two values do I need? Which two values do I need? I need this. I need to add these two. I need to add these two. However, along with ammonium ion and hydroxide ion, I have lambda infinity of sodium and chloride ion. The sum of these two will give you what? The sum of these two will give you what? The sum of these two will give you
Lambda
what?
infinity of NaCl.
Yes. So I need to eliminate this. I need to eliminate this. How will I eliminate this? How will I eliminate this?
Subtract कर देंगे.
Yes, exactly. So here in the space, I'll write down lambda m infinity of NaCl. So I'll write down minus lambda m infinity of NaCl. So as I write this minus lambda m infinity of NaCl, that means minus lambda infinity of sodium ion minus lambda infinity of chloride ion. Yes, so I think this will get cancelled now. This will get cancelled. So I just get this two. And the sum of this, according to Colruyt's law, is equal to this. However, when you solve the numericals, no need to do all this. I'm just trying to explain you what am I doing actually. No need to, you can skip this step. You can skip this step. Okay. So yes, I can get the lambda infinity of ammonium hydroxide is equal to lambda infinity of ammonium chloride. यहाँ से ammonium ion मिलेगा, chloride ion मिलेगा, यहाँ से sodium ion, hydroxide ion मिलेगा. So I get ammonium and hydroxide ion, but together I am getting sodium and chloride ion. So this must be eliminated NaCl ka. So minus lambda infinity of NaCl. Now put down the values. What is the value of lambda infinity of ammonium chloride? इसका value कितना है तुम्हारा? 100.5. दूसरा का value कितना है? 200.5. minus 100. So this is 301 minus 100 is 201 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. Okay, now see, if you understand this thing, it's a really easy concept. So you are supposed to find out the lambda m infinity of acetic acid. Okay, and according to Polar's law again, lambda m infinity of acetic acid will be equal to lambda infinity of acetate ion plus lambda infinity of H positive ion. Yes, acetic acid dissociates to give you acetate and H positive ion. Okay. Yes, Vidushi, you tell me, where can you find, from which electrolyte will you get this acetate ion, lambda of acetate ion? कहाँ से मिलेगा ये lambda infinity of acetate ion? कौन सा electrolyte से मिलेगा?
Sodium
Someone tell me.
acetate.
Sodium acetate. So it will be lambda m infinity of sodium acetate. Shreya, yes, tell me, where can you get this lambda m infinity of H positive ion? Lambda infinity of H positive ion कौन सा electrolyte से मिलेगा?
HCl.
HCl. Okay, so I got acetate ion, I got H positive ion. But together I am getting what? But together I am getting NaCl, which must be eliminated. How will I eliminate NaCl? How will I eliminate this NaCl then? Minus lambda m infinity of NaCl. Fine. So write down the values now. This is X, HCl ka tumhara Y hai, Y minus Z. The unit will be Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. As easy as this. Such a easy question. This is a very, 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 very easy question. Right? Okay. Okay. So last one. Last one. Okay, someone give me a lead now. How will you determine the molar conductance at infinite dilution of water? Someone give me a lead. If this is the question, what will be the solution then? Anishka, chalo, give me the lead. How will you determine the lambda infinity of water? What does water gives on dissociation? Water dissociate होके क्या मिलेगा? Water dissociates to give us what? H positive and OH negative ion. Chalo, I give you the hint now. Okay. Chalo. So what will be your answer? Which electrolyte will you take to find out the lambda m of H positive ion? कौन सा electrolyte लोगे? Which electrolyte? Suggest me an electrolyte. कौन सा electrolyte लोगे to find out the contribution of H positive ion? कौन सा electrolyte लोगे?
HCl.
HCl. Good, good, good. So I'll write down lambda m infinity of HCl. And OH negative के लिए कौन सा लोगे?
NaOH.
NaOH. चलो पता है तो बोलो ना. Lambda m infinity of NaOH. फिर क्या करोगे? फिर क्या करोगे?
Minus lambda infinity m of NaCl.
बस 2 marks or 1 marks. बस no need to write down the Langles. बस this is it. यहाँ से H positive मिलेगा, यहाँ से OH negative मिलेगा, NaCl cancel हो जाएगा. बस this is how we do it. Got it? So yes, this Collard's law can be used to determine the lambda infinity of your weak electrolytes. ओके, स्ट्रॉन्ग इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स का तो कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है, ग्राफिकली मिल जाएगा, लेकिन वीक इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स का ग्राफिकली नहीं मिलेगा. So indirect method, we have to take the aid of this Kohlrausch law. Okay. Okay. So this is understood. It's so simple topic. Okay, it's such a simple topic. Now let us try to move to the second application. So to determine the degree of dissociation, alpha. Now lambda MC is the molar conductance at concentration C. Okay, lambda m infinity is the molar conductance at infinite dilution, and between these two, which one has a higher value? Which one has a higher value? क्या पढ़ा? The topic we have been discussing since 1 hour is effect of dilution. जितना dilute करोगे उतना ही molar conductance value बढ़ेगा. Okay, so obviously at infinite dilution the molar conductance value will be maximum. Yes, at infinite dilution the molar conductance value will be maximum. So remember, lambda m infinity is always greater. It is greater than lambda mc. So once more you tell me, what is the maximum value of alpha? What is the maximum value of alpha?
1
is equal to 1. If your answer is greater than 1, we are wrong. So the formula used to determine alpha is alpha equals to lambda mc by lambda m infinity. So this is the formula. So there is every chance that you might forget this formula in your exam. Yes, chances are very high. So you'll use your brain now. Okay, alpha should be less than 1. तुम greater को ऊपर रखोगे, lesser को नीचे रख denominator में रखोगे तो answer will be greater than 1, which is not the case. So in order for alpha to be less than 1, smaller divided by greater, lambda mc by lambda m infinity. Okay, and the thing which we have derived in the first dissociation constant, it is equal to alpha squared c, actually 1 minus alpha. So these two formulas we need to remember now. These two formulas we need to remember. Degree of dissociation and your dissociation constant. Degree of dissociation and your dissociation constant. Degree of dissociation and your dissociation constant. Okay? So as जो हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं, so there is every chance 1 or 2 might come in a board level. Okay, एक तो आ सकता है तुम लोगों का. Okay. Now let us solve some problems now. Okay, so please write it down. The molar conductivity the molar conductivity of 0.025 mole per liter methanoic acid. Methanoic acid is 46.1 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. Okay, calculate its degree of dissociation and dissociation constant. Given lambda infinity of H positive ion is equal to 349.6 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse, lambda infinity of HCOO negative format ion, okay, is 54.6. Mole inverse. Okay, what is the formula of methanoic acid, by the way? प्रत्येक क्या है formula methanoic acid का?
HCOH.
Meth means acid containing one carbon. The formula of methanoic acid is HCOOH. This is dissociation will give you H positive and HCOO negative ion. Okay. So yes, it's organic acid, weak acid. So lambda infinity of acetic acid according to Colrod's law will be what? This will be equal to what? According to Colrod's law. This dissociates to give you H positive and this format ions. It will be lambda infinity of H positive ion plus lambda infinity of format ion. Okay, it's also known as a formic acid. This is known as a format ion. Don't worry about this part. Organic chemistry ka ek book hi hai. Now, what is the value of this lambda infinity of H positive ion? It is 349.6 plus 54.6. So, yes, what is the answer? (404.2 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. ठीक है ना? Okay, so yes, we have determined the value of lambda m infinity of formic acid. Okay, by applying Colrod's law, what is the value? 404.2. Now, what is the value of lambda in C then? What is given out here? Go to the question. The molar conductivity of 0.0525 mole per liter. So at this concentration, the value of C is 0.025. At this concentration, what is the molar conductivity value? 46.1. So lambda MC is 46.1. And what is the concentration given out here? The concentration is 0.025 mole per liter. Is 0.025 mole per liter. Lambda MC is equal to 46.1. Okay. Now, tell me, in order to calculate alpha, which formula are you going to use? So, if you forget in the
Lambda
exam,
CM by
just
lambda
remember
infinity.
alpha should be less than 1. Less than 1 कब होगा? Smaller divided by greater. Greater divided by smaller करोगे तो more than 1 आएगा, नहीं हो सकता है ये. So, this is an easy way to remember. Okay, so alpha will be equal to lambda MC divided by lambda m infinity. So lambda MC का value कितना है? 46.1 divided by 404.2. Yes, what is the value of alpha? Yes, it will be less than 1. Whatever may be the answer, it will be less than 1. That means we are correct. So it is 0.114. Or if you want to express in percentage, alpha will be 11.4%. Okay, so yes, our answer is correct. It is less than 1. So we have found out alpha. We have found out alpha. Now, which formula are you going to use to find out the value of dissociation constant? Dissociation constant के लिए कौन सा formula use करोगे? अभी जो हम लोगों ने लिखा है, dissociation constant is equal to alpha square C 1 minus alpha. So here I have not neglected this alpha. Okay, here I have not neglected this alpha. So let us not neglect this alpha. So K will be equal to, so what is the value of alpha? 0.114 whole square. Okay, what is the concentration given? 0.025. So 1 minus 0.114. So yes, ISC students must be smiling. Okay, ये तो easily calculate कर पाओगे. So CBSE के लिए और 1 मिनट 2 मिनट जैसा extra लगेगा. But yes, we can multiply, we can divide. It should not be an issue. तो इसका आंसर आएगा ultimately 3.6 into 10 to the power minus 4. Okay, so there is no such any rocket science out here. Simple logical questions, direct questions are going to come from here. You just need to remember which formula should we apply in what type of numericals. Okay, just उतना याद करने से हो जाएगा. So if you wish, I can send you some more questions. Okay, I'll send you some more questions.